I'd like to welcome you to our 2025 Love Light program, Peace, Unity, Compassion. My name is Brenda Klitsky. I was newly elected as the President of Partners of Stoughton Hospital in October. The Stoughton Hospital Auxiliary was organized in the mid-1950s with the same objectives and mission we honor today. We aim to serve as goodwill ambassadors and provide assistance to the hospital staff and patients in a volunteer capacity. In 2005, we changed our name to Partners of Stoughton Hospital. Our membership includes 150 men and women, and we continue to grow. Each year, the partners donate over 10,000 hours of service at Stoughton Health. It is my pleasure at this time to introduce Stoughton Health's President, CEO, Chris Braden.
Well, hello everyone. First of all, thank you so much for attending tonight. Really terrific to see everybody who is here. And I have to remember to keep this nice and close, don't I? Yeah. So I will do that. Thank you for the very kind introduction and some of the information. I'm here to provide you a bit more information. So, first of all, as we all know, a Love Light ceremony is a holiday tradition whereby a tree is lit to honor and remember loved ones. And so, to keep that in mind for as to why we are all here, you all kind of know that, but I thought I would articulate that. In the spirit of talking about the partners, I do have to give you a few more facts about them because they are such an integral partner and vital partner, if you will, to Stoughton Hospital and Stoughton Health Association. So the Partners of Stoughton Hospital had another remarkable year, as was mentioned. 10,000 hours. That's quite a bit of time, and continue their steadfast support of Stoughton Health and the broader community. Through a wide range of fundraising activities, the partners raised significant funds to enhance patient care and services. And thanks to their generosity, Stoughton Health was able to acquire essential equipment, including chairs for medical imaging, an ice machine for the geriatric psychiatry department, an eye surgery cart, and blanket warmers, totaling an impressive $33,470. That's exceptional. So give a round of applause for that. So important. So the partners have also continued their commitment to education by funding an annual scholarship for a Stoughton High School student pursuing a career in healthcare. Again, hugely important. We have less and less people going into healthcare these days and trying to entice them to have that temerity, if you will, to go into a healthcare field. That kind of services. It can be a very challenging, but as we all know, exceptionally rewarding lifestyle. So terrific that the partners support that endeavor. Beyond fundraising, the partners contributed many volunteer hours, as mentioned, at the Foot Clinic located in the Community Health and Wellness Center, embraced the new opportunity to be greeters at the new outpatient center, and played a vital role in operating the Partners of Stoughton Hospital gift shop. So again, a terrific advantage for the hospital that we have that gift shop here. So quick plug, I encourage you all to take a walk through there when it is open. It's a wonderful place if you're looking for a knick-knack or something like that. They sell wonderful items there. That's not on my script, by the way. I made that up all by myself. Just saying that for somebody who has been there. So anyway, their compassion is also extended to creating walker bags for rehabilitation patients, and something called, and we'll need an explanation later for this, twiddle muffs for individuals in geriatric psychiatry. What is a twiddle muff? It's like a kind of a hand thing. Yeah, okay.
All different textures and.
Oh, wonderful. My head went right to earmuffs. I don't know why, but it just did. So again, amazing thing. So they also associated the Stoughton Wellness Coalition volunteering at the medication disposal and sharps collection at the Reality Maze. Their community engagement efforts also included sponsoring a bingo party at the senior center. And as Andrew will tell you back there, a highly competitive environment there. Very competitive, and some would argue dangerous at some point.
I was worried.
Yes, sir, you were, but you managed to survive. So, looking forward to the next event already. Along with with all the time the partners spend on these activities, the partners are incredible goodwill ambassadors for Stoughton Health. They are our champions in the community, sharing the quality care we provide for our patients. Stoughton Health is deeply grateful to the partners of Stoughton Hospital for their unwavering dedication, generosity, and continued support. So thank you very, very much. Now, one other thing I want to put out there is a disclaimer, and this is the reason why. So we have a list of all the folks that we are going to name. However, even though they were practiced and we have phonetic spellings, we may say the name incorrectly, and we'll apologize for that up front. My last name is Brabant. How hard can that be? I've been called Barbant, Barabbas, Bardant, Rabrant, and all manner of enunciations. And so anyway, just saying it is not an intentional slight, so we apologize in advance for that. And though we try to have an all-inclusive list, even though we may forget somebody's name or a name may have been missed for some reason, the spirit of their name is still with us. Okay, so I just want to make sure you all knew that. So with that, I will hand off to the next speaker.
That would be me.
That would be our own Laura.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and it's wonderful to see everybody here today. Thanks for braving that cold. I know it was a chilly start, and it's going to be even chillier when we leave here tonight, so thank you again for being out here tonight. My name is Laura Mays, and I've been here now for 13 years and part of the partners for 13 years. And my role at the hospital is Stoughton Hospital Foundation work. I do some PR and some marketing. So first off, I want to make sure everybody has a nice program that was put together by the partners. And why I'm looking at that is, the peace, unity, compassion portion that I want to just talk about. Because I know when Trish asked me or Linda asked me, she said, you're on the program to speak. And I said, what am I supposed to speak about? And then last night I'm laying in bed and I'm thinking, this really hits Stoughton Health. Again, the peace portion I see every day at Stoughton Health. All of our team members, and I'm looking at a lot of clinical folks in the back, they provide peace to those people who are suffering with health issues, who may need some support. And so I thought that certainly is peace. Compassion. Again, Stoughton Health is known for compassionate care. And I think, we talk about the large hospitals, which are wonderful in Madison and Janesville, but what we have here at Stoughton Health is that compassionate care. And if any of you have had and been on that end receiving that compassionate care, you know what I'm talking about. So compassion was certainly there. And then unity, I was thinking, the partners bring us all together, as witnessed tonight. We wouldn't be here without the partners in that unity. And I think, again, working together, we accomplish so much more. So again, thank you for being here. Thank you, the partners, for all you do. We work very closely with the foundation and the partners, and working together to raise funds to support, to make sure that we have beautiful new equipment and new buildings. And as you drove in, you saw that beautiful new outpatient center. Again, the unity that comes together from the community. We were able to raise over $2 million to go towards the building of that project. And again, that comes from unity. So whoever came up with those 3 words, fabulous job to the partners. But again, Stoughton Health is all about that. So thank you. And again, I don't know if anybody wants or is going to be doing this, but I just wanted to acknowledge the people that are on the back of this program who put this together. So there was a Love Life committee, and I don't know if you just want to stand, those of you that were part of this committee, and I want to say thank you from Stoughton Health. So, do I need to call your names? Trish, Donna Stranley, Mary Haley, Melanie Miller, Lori Mo Piddleson, Lisa Olson, Linda Schaefer, and Polly Schneezy. So, thank you. All right, so I am going to turn this over to Pastor Carol Ann McArdle for the invocation.
I'm going to apologize ahead of time for my voice. I woke up a couple days ago and I didn't have one, so I haven't been talking much. So you can't hear me, raise your hand or give my attention. First of all, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. This is a wonderful thing that all of y'all have participated in and are doing. This is a time when we remember, when we honor, and we recognize the ones who have touched our lives. This is a time of transition. Temperature becomes colder. The sunlight of our days grows shorter, and the darkness of night consumes larger portions of our day. I love the themes that have been chosen for this year's Love Light ceremony: peace, unity, and compassion. I love the words. I love what they conjure up in my brain and in my heart. But I will also admit that it's been frustrating to try and to write something that I can weave all those three words together and find a common thread. I struggled with that. Because their meanings seem to fit together in a world that we live in. It was frustrating as I tried to find a common thread to fit our situation, because nowadays there seems to be so much division and anger and stress in the world around us. I know that it is not all division and anger, but often it seems like the anger and the division wins out in this world today. Peace and unity and compassion. They all sound very hopeful, but then I listen to the news, or I go to the grocery store, or I even try to figure out a budget for Christmas gifts and the various traditions that I enjoy. And I wonder, where is the peace this year? Where is the unity? And where is the compassion? But then I have to stop. That's when I have to listen. And that's when the noise goes quiet and my heart hears. We do not have to believe in the same things to find peace. We do not have to participate in the same traditions to find unity. And we do not have to understand or even like each other to have compassion. We can gather together in the same room. Look around. We can live in the same neighborhood. We can come together as community. We can and we do that. We have entered this room for the same purpose: to support our medical facility, to join our resources, to bring hope and healing to our community, to remember, to honor, and to recognize those who have touched our lives. We are each different. We may or may not know each other. We may or may not like each other. And we may or may not agree with each other. But each of us has made a decision to come today in peace, to join our neighbors in unity, and to allow our hearts and our minds to be filled with the compassion to help loved ones, to help neighbors and strangers and those who are different than us. Helen Keller said, "I don't want the peace that passes understanding. I want the understanding that bringeth peace." A man by the name of Friedrich Schiller said, "Even the weak become strong when they are united." And Pema Chodron said, "Compassion is not a relationship between a healer and a wounded. It is a relationship between equals." Compassion becomes real when we recognize our shared humanity. So look around. take a moment to stop, to listen, and to hear. This, you are peace. You are united. And you are filled with compassion. We invite you to share, united with humanity, to live in peace with each other, to continue to be compassionate to each and all, and we will never ever know the miracles that your lives bring to others as they are touched.
Okay, the next, whoop, I need this, I guess. The next portion that we are going to move on to is a poem by Lisa Olson called Peace. Now, during our ceremony tonight, I want you to turn on your candles and keep them lit during the whole process today. So if you could each turn on your candle, I would appreciate that. Take this off. Peace. Peace in my heart. This is my prayer. Quiet contentment to have and to share. Each new tomorrow, blessed and real. Each wondrous dawning, a daybreak ideal. Peace in my home. This I would ask. Sharing each burden to lighten our task. Laughter abundant, so much that's worthwhile. Faith, hope, and courage, bright, happy smile. Peace in this country, this is my dream. Peace we might cherish, joyous, supreme. No more of hatred, no more of crime. Peacefulness only in heart and mind. Peace in our world, this is my prayer, with one God to guide us and one God to care. All of us neighbors, then surely we'll see that peace is the answer to eternity. Next, we will read those we honor, Claudia Kwong and Lori Mulcahy.
In honor of Denver Applehans family, Devin, Daniel, Mary, Anna, Griffin, Shanae, Brandon, and Lee. George Geiger, Grant Applehans family, partners of Stoughton Hospital. Penny Gorniak, Sandra Meritz, Stoughton Health family, thankful for my family, to all people fighting.
We will now have a musical piece. I will be riding the tree. Our next selection will be a poem called Unity by Mary Haley.
Unity, the bond that binds us all. Together we stand, never to fall. In times of joy, in times of strife, our unity keeps us going in life. From different lands and cultures we hail, but in unity we never fail. For in our hearts we all agree to live in peace and harmony. Let not our differences tear us apart, but let our unity be the glue of our heart. For in our diversity lies our strength, and together we shall go to great length. Let us hold hands and make a stand against hate and bigotry in our land. For we are one, and in our unity we shall build a world of prosperity. So let us unite as one and all, and answer the clarion call. For in our unity lies our destiny, a bright future for all eternity. Unity.
We will now read those whose military service we recognize. Brenda Kritzky will read the list.
In honor of military service, Einar Anderson, John Anderson, Richard Bayens, Ronald Buss, Andrew S. Fuller, Drew Fuller, Albert and Odelia Gibbs, Robert Howard Gibbs, Larry Gorniak, James and Lillian Harvey, Ora Krantz, Rob Krantz, Art Meritz, David Hunter Markle Jr., Alan O. Nygaard, Chris A. Nygaard, Doug Olson, Otis Sampson, American Legion Post 59 members past and present, Urban Showers, Terry Touchette, Rodney Trunzo, VFW Badger Post 328 members past and present.
We will now have the lighting of the military tree along with our musical selection.
program will be a poem read by Mary Haley called The Gentle Hand.
When shadows fall and spirits bend, and weary hearts forget to mend, a gentle hand, a whispered plea, can set the burdened spirit free. It is the light in clouded eyes, the quiet strength when sorrow cries, a bridge across the chasm deep where empathy its vigil keeps. Not pity's gaze, nor judgment's sting, but understanding, on the wing that seeks to know the hidden pain and walks with others through the rain. It hears the silence, sees the tear, dispels the doubt, calms every fear. A boundless grace, a boundless art, to mend the fractured human heart. For the compassion's tender hold, a story's bravely to be told, of shared humanity's embrace and healing found in time and space, the gentle hand.
We will now read the love list of those remembered by Lori Monteiro-Sana and Claudia Hall.
In memory, Alice Anderson, Rick Anderson, Carl Anderson, Joyce Bartels, Joe, Stella, Bob, Lisa, and Ginger Bell. Henrietta Burgee, Harold Burgee, William Black, Judy Casey, David and Susan Christensen, Christopher Kit Damson, Deneen family, Vince Deneen, Kurt and Lucille Dixon, Adam Lang Doom, Leona Ely, Richard Erdahl, Sydney and Ruth Erickson, Ben Joseph Erickson, family and friends held in our hearts, Leanne Fighter, Leander and Aldemay Filio, Truman and Mary Femright, John Fustal, Patricia Frank, Barbara Frisky, Craig Fuller, Martin and Ruth Gasson, Brandon Geiger, Earl and Ethel Gibbs, Esther and Paul Gibbs, Larry Gorniak, Philip Grefsheim, Joanne Grefsheim, Ned Grusa, Mary Hanson Schwartzlow, Joanne Herride, Phil Hawkinson, Lyman Christian Hawkinson, Lonnie R. Hain.
Dolores Hellam, Eleanor Hellam Neath, Elmer and Emma Hellam, Albert and Eleonora Hammersbach, Isabel Herrera Hill, Dick Hoffman, Lyle Hogan, Robert Hubbard, Christy Hund, in memory of loved ones, James and Ruth Janig, Marlene Johnson, Sharon Keene, Terry and Laura Kiss, Marv and Bert Klitsky, Matthew Predko, Aura and Dorothy Krantz, Sue Langloy, Wayne Meritz, Phil Manson, Kathy Martin, Howard Martin, George Miller, Audrey A. Miller, Dr. Mike Miller, Deanna Miller, Applehans, Millard and Roma Moore, Sue Miller, Roy Sr. and Nora Nelson, Howard O. and Roy Jr. Nelson, John Curtis Nelson, Clinton Olson, Francis and Edwin Olson, William Paul Olson, our parents Dick and Jane, and Melvin and Tootsie, Robert Outhouse, Kathleen Paris, partners at Stoughton Hospital that we have lost this year, Alfred and Georgine Joe Quam, Elsie and Joseph Mandula.
Eric and Heather Reese, Conrad and Gail Ring, Eugene Ring, Audrey Rogers, Clara Rovig, Judith Roy, Leonard and Jeanette Shear, Cal and Audrey Schneller, Tim Schneezy, Ted Schneezy, Schicknock family, Stephen Schultz, Anna Scholes, Sam Schwartzlow, Tom Seltzer, David Severson, Betty Shea, Carmen and Howard Skolas, Eric Skolas, Aunt Jean Skolas Perez, John Jr. Stranley, Kendall Stranley, Jerry Sumwalt, Gladys M. Thompson, Patricia Touchette, Terry Touchette, Edna Venden, Joanne Vola, Catherine Warner, Diane Weber, Dick and Dorothy Weber, Molly Weber, Joe Welcher, Anna Mae and Ernest Worsland, Lillian Worsland, Peter and Elizabeth Worsland, Richard Worsland, Karen Whitford, Al and Gail Wollenzine, Marilyn and James Wood, Fritz Yawn, Richard Youngsdale.
We will now have the lighting of the last tree with our musical selection. You will see in your program that we have a closing musical performance called Let There Be Peace on Earth, which our wonderful musicians are going to accompany us on. But before I do that, I'd like to thank Richard McDonald and his group called Clarinet and Friends. Richard's on the clarinet, Cindy is on the flute, Allison is a violinist, and Sylvia is the harpist. Let's give them a nice hand. I would also like to thank all of you for coming tonight. I know it's a very cold night, but this is a very special occasion that happens only once a year. So, if Richard wants to start us out, I would appreciate that because I don't sing that well.
Okay, we'll give you a little introduction first, just to get the sound of it here. One,
I would like to thank my Love Life Committee that we worked so hard to put this together, and next year we will work to create another. So before you leave tonight, there are some treats, some coffee, and some infused water. Please help yourself. And also on your way out, if you would like to pick up an ornament from the Love Light celebration, please do so. Thank you.